Well, aloha everyone. I'm Nicki Keohoho, CEO and co-founder of the DSWA. I'm just happy that you're here with us today for our monthly class that we do. And this month, our call is going to be on how to make a side gig sale in just minutes. And this is one of those things that you want to give yourself some time and take notes and go back and read your notes. And when you get the recording, listen to the recording again, because there's going to be some new thoughts for you. And that's the whole idea, is that we want to get new thoughts in people's head to try something a little bit different. So, do you have team members using direct selling as a side gig? You may not know it, but my guess is you do. And so the whole idea is just listen to what they have to say. You know, they think that maybe they only want to share the products with others, and they're really not looking to build a team. It may be that they have a little bit of fear around what it's about. They don't want to recruit because that's scary to them. They don't know what it is. Lots of people start this way, as a side gig selling. It doesn't mean that they're going to end there, but it is going to start there. There are some companies that have what we call like a president's club, where they get recognized for their selling. Some people come into the business and start off and say, oh, I just have a few friends, I just want to sell enough to get my own products. They're not sure what they want, but we don't want to push them away because all we're talking about is recruiting, recruiting, recruiting. I want them to know there's a place for them in our profession and in your business. So who are those side gig sellers? What are they like? They're people who maybe have quit their jobs during, the whole resignation thing. And now they're going, oh gosh, maybe I don't have enough money now. So maybe I had to find something to do on the side, because they're really wanting to have something, but they just didn't know what it was when they left. People who love your products, any of your previous customers, people that already have tried products, they're finding out that, hey, they can make some money too, which is a good thing. People that want to share with others, they want to share with their friends, that people who have full-time careers, but they're not making ends meet, which is happening to a lot of people now. So there's a lot of different kinds of people that are really looking at this as a side gig, and what they want to do is sell. So why is direct selling? Why is direct selling as a side gig exploding in popularity? There's a lot of reasons why it's growing right now. And I'm telling you, it is growing. Look around you, see what's happening. There's a lot of new companies that are coming out, and a lot of old companies are going away because they haven't adjusted. But I'll tell you, there are people that are looking for companies today, and you're a company that could have this opportunity for people. So, COVID kind of got the ball rolling. I hate to say that. It wasn't a fun time for anybody, but COVID kind of let people realize, hey, I can work from home. I can do this from home. I can have fun at home. I can be more available to my family from home. So COVID kind of got the ball rolling there. The Great Resignation, after COVID was going for a while, people are going, I don't want to do this. I don't want to commute 2 hours and then have to work all day and not be appreciated. They were looking for something different. So all those people in the Great Resignation are people that are open to possibilities. The biggest thing, why do people want side gigs? They want choices. They're looking for choices. Choices in their life, choices in their business, choices for what they can do, what they want to do, choices, particularly the younger people. They don't want to fall into the old same pit that our parents did. So let's give them those choices. People that want to take control of their destiny. There are lots of those people that are tired of having everybody else direct them in their life, and they want to take control over their own destiny. By the way, Boomy, I'm so happy to see you. It's been a long time. Karen Tucker, it's been a few years, and there you are. So
Yes.
it's fun to see all of you. I'm so happy so many have joined us tonight. Interesting that you chose this topic. So let's talk
Yes.
about what's next here. How do you distinguish which team members who are really only interested in selling? How do you figure that out? Well, first of all, they probably are telling you. They're probably saying, "I don't want to recruit," or "I have friends that everybody does this when they come in front of them because they're always in their face wanting to recruit them. I don't want to recruit." They have almost a phobia against recruiting. We're going to two-step those people in. They're still going to probably end up doing that, but let's not push them out the door before they got in the door. So, how do you distinguish? You ask questions. You've heard me say this a million times. Questions are the answer. The better you get at asking who, what, when, where, how questions, the more people you will have surrounding you. So here's a couple of thoughts around that. How do you feel about sharing the business opportunity with others? Or how do you feel about sharing these products with others? The word sharing is good for most people because some people will say, "Oh, I can't sell anything I don't want to sell." If that comes up in your conversation early on, don't try to keep going. That's a coaching skill, is to move people past, I can't sell anything, or I'm not a good salesperson or whatever. And if there's somebody that wants to know how to do that, I stay on the line at the end of these calls and I'll walk somebody through that if you'd like to know, because you can't convince them. And in fact, you don't want to convince them. So to distinguish those person, you're going to ask them questions. What's important to you? What are you looking for in a home-based business? What do you love about the products? Find out what's important to them. So we're going to move on to the 5 steps to engaging a side gig sale in just a few minutes. Okay, I want you all to understand something. And whoever's not muted, if you could please mute. I've got to try and get everybody up here and see if I can figure out who that is. But I'm just asking you, there are people in our profession that have just a real challenge with continually talking. They love to talk and talk and talk and talk. We talk our way out of the deal. So when we say in just a few minutes, that's what I'm talking about. It's not taking an hour with somebody. You're going to know in just a few minutes where this person stands if you really listen. So let's talk about the process for making that happen. 5 steps. This is step number 1. Have a focal point. A focal point question. And again, remember, these questions begin with who, what, when, where, how. So it's an open-ended question. Closed-ended questions are did, could, can, is, should, would. Those we don't want to ask. You go to a dead end. So we want to have a focal point question that's an open-ended question. What interests you about our company? Find out what interests them. What do you like about the products? What do you like about the products? Who do you know that these products could be an answer for? This is particularly important if you have something, a specific thing. For example, with nutritional products. You can't make claims, but there may be something that somebody is looking for more energy. You may have an energy product. I talk about skincare. Somebody has a roadmap on their face. They definitely could benefit from skincare. Now, you don't want to say, "Honey, you have a roadmap on your face," but you do want to be a solution for them. And so find out who these products could be a solution for. If it's not them, it may be their sister or their brother or somebody else. So we have a focal point question. That's step number 1. Step number 2, and I cannot emphasize this enough, is to listen. Listening takes practice. Most people don't listen. Most people are so busy sharing their 2 cents and getting all their stuff in. Let me tell you, that we don't listen. You want to listen to not just what they're saying, but the meaning behind the words. So let me say that again. Not just to what they're saying, not just the words, the meaning behind the words. So you can look at their face, their tone, their pitch. It's like somebody said, "Oh, I'm really excited about that." Well, by the way I said it, probably got a hint that they're not really excited if you really, really listen. So we want to talk less, listen more. This is in recruiting too. This is in all relationships. I had somebody call me today, and she went into her dissertation, probably 15 minutes or so. She didn't ask me any questions. She just was selling me, and quite a long time. And then she says, "Well, do you have any questions?" And I said, "What would you like to know about me and our needs?" Now, I know that was kind of bold, and some of you might think it was kind of poopy, but what I found is that if I can teach somebody something, it's a valuable lesson for the rest of their lives. And she said, "Oh, I really don't know anything about you." And and then we talked a little bit, and I said, "So how do you see us collaborating? How can I be of service to you? What can I do to support you?" Most people don't start a conversation like that. They start a conversation with stuff, information. Write this down in big fat letters. Information does not information does not create transformation. Let me say it again. Information does not create transformation in people. It doesn't. They can get information anywhere. So be very careful. If you're turning in to be the information queen and you're always just giving more and more and more information, you're probably not connecting with people. And see, there we go. Even with training, I give information, but it's applied information that actually gets results. So part of this is, at least my hope, is that you figure out how to apply what it is that you're doing so that you can so that they will actually do something with what they've got. I just saw you, Jerry Scribner. It has been years. Hello, my friend. So happy to have you. And Hannah, thank you so much. Several of your people showed up today. So I really appreciate you sending them on over. So here's a couple of questions that have come in the chat box, and I want to make sure that I respond. So Grace taught us this question model in Australia just last month. Awesome. I taught Grace. That's right. So that you got it. And Jerry, how is it that I'm the only male again on this Zoom? This is some of the best training. We usually have several, but you're the one today. You love that, being that token man. And Tana, I love that you type into the box when I say it, zinger. So you're so good to add to that. Applied information gets results. We want to give people time to get it. Have it be anchored in with their learning. So listen. Step number 2 is listen to what they're saying. Step number 3, solution focused. Step number 3, solution focused. Make your company and your products the solution, whatever you have. Like Jerry, electricity, everybody needs it. It's a solution. So that everybody can share something that is a solution for somebody else. You find their need and fill it. That's the whole idea. You just find their need and fill it. How could our company be a solution for you or someone you know? Or someone that you know? We've got to be a resource. You don't always have to make the deal today. You don't have to make it happen today. It's a relationship. This business is about relationship. But you know what? If you're finding out that somebody, I don't want to recruit, don't push them into recruiting. Let them choose that they want to sell the product. They can make a good living selling the products. That's a great thing. So solution focused was step number 3. Let's go to step number 4. If you don't do this, you aren't going to get anywhere, because we got to have some sort of action. We got to lead people to action. So decide and take action. Decide what's next. What are we going to do next? How are they going to get started? Keeping them engaged, following up with them, keeping them engaged. We want them to make some sort of a decision. The decision might be, Oh, I'll share this with my friend, or I'd like to sell these products, or I want to think about this. Whatever they say is okay. When somebody says, I'd really like to think about this, don't say, well, you don't have to think about it, just decide now. No, give them the space to do that. So, what do you say? So, how much time would you like for you to make the best decision for you? How much time would work for you to make the best decision for you? Because who's that about? Them. That's the whole idea. It's about them. We want them to make that decision. So give them time. When someone says, I want to ask my partner about this, don't say, you don't have to ask them. This is your business. Show respect. Whatever it is that they say, find a way to work around them. When they say, I'd like to speak with my partner, that is a really good idea because, when you're both on the same page and you have support from your partner, you're always going to be more successful. Who right now do you believe knows more about the business, me or you? Well, I think you know more. So how helpful would it be if I went with you and had that conversation, or if I was on the phone with them? Or is it better for you, knowing your partner, that you just talk to them by yourself first? What happens is the spouse can be possessive or protective of the person, but yet they don't have any idea of what the business is even about. So give them a fair chance by trying to be there with them, and that's helpful. So decide, find out what's next, make a decision. Where will you begin? Where will you begin is a good question. Where would you like to begin? Sometimes they want to have their own home show. Sometimes they want to come and watch you. There's a lot of different things, but it's about them, so let them. And we definitely have to have training and product knowledge in place for them to really feel equipped. Some people let the fear stop them. Some people let their discomfort get in the way of their future. And I don't want that to happen for anybody because they're stopping before they even had a chance to go. So, if they have hesitation, I'm sensing you're hesitating. Tell me what that's about. It's not what's wrong with you. It's a gentler approach, you know. So, I'm sensing because that says you have intuition and you're willing to follow it. I'm sensing that there may be something holding you back. What is that about? Oh, I tried to sell such and such and I did horribly. Hmm. How did you feel about that product? Oh, I wasn't real sure about it. I wasn't confident. I wasn't blah, blah, blah. Whatever they say, listen, ask questions, and figure out where they're going and where they want to go. Because sometimes people really don't know until you've given them a little more detail if they need that. Step number 5 is to follow up. And we say follow up fast and follow up friendly. You don't need to follow up forever. You don't need to be a stalker, but follow up. What is the best way for me to follow up? If they want to think about it, then how would you like me to follow up with you? Don't tell somebody I'll call you sometime or I'll call you next week. That's not an appointment. We want to get an appointment with this person. You know, communicate in the best way for them. If you don't know how to text, get a 10-year-old to show you because they all know how. Because some people just want to text. It may not be your best way to communicate. I like email because I have everything together in one place, but I have information coming to me from 20 different methods. But I got to go with what's good for them, not what's the best for me, what's good for them. Later on, they could find out you want the quickest results. This is the best way to reach me. But in the beginning, you work around whatever it is that they need. So when they say, "Oh, I really would like to have a follow-up call on Thursday," in morning or afternoon, better. Afternoon is better. 2 o'clock sound good? 2 o'clock is great. Here's the little wording that works very well. I'll block that time off in my calendar. And you Australians, you say, I'll block that time off in my diary. Isn't that funny? All you US people, they call it a diary, their calendar. We have a diary for different things. You have a little key and you put secrets in it, but that's not what it is in Australian. I love them. Anyway, I'll block that time off in my calendar and I'll commit it to you. Will you do the same? That's a commit. Commitment is tied to integrity. Commitment is tied to integrity. That's a powerful word to use when you're going to follow up with somebody is you're going to commit. So follow up fast, follow up friendly, just follow up. Sometimes people sort of don't want to bother people, so they don't call them back or they don't reach out. It is a good thing to follow up because you never know what can come from that. I have a little tickler file that I go back and I just followed up with 5 people today. I try for 5 people a day that I follow up with that are from different things and areas of my life. And it's fun because I can renew relationships. I just had somebody this week that I talked to that I haven't talked to in 7 years. Well, there's our cute little baby. Hi, Raquel, you're darling. I don't know what that child's name is, but I know your name, darling. Okay, so let's move on. So here we go. How do you move successful side gig sellers into sponsoring? How do you move them? It's got to be when they're ready or when they find out what they didn't know before, or when you've cleared up misconceptions. But if you push them too early into sponsoring, they run the other direction. So the whole idea about this is it's like a 2-step. So how are you feeling about your selling? Who have you met when you've been out sharing the products with people that you think would be good at doing what you do, or that you think would be a great representative of our company? Or who do you know that would love to share this opportunity with other people? Ask questions to find out kind of where they are. It's like a touch base. You don't just get a side gig seller in the door and then never talk to them again because they're not sponsoring. You got to keep them close and let them know you appreciate them and that you've noticed. Recognize selling too. Recognize selling in your group. Someone that went from 0 to 500. This is their first big step. That was the rookie of the month. Find ways to recognize people. I love this lady. She's one's in her high heel and the other one's in her tennis shoes. She's ready to run. Here's the thing. Sometimes we only recognize the top end sales and the top end sponsoring, when in reality, there's a lot of place in between. And if you notice somebody for some little baby step that they took, they may take a bigger step and put on that tennis shoe and start running. We've got to look beyond just the doing to the being. Who are they being? The qualities of the person. So, hey, this was, we had the rookie of the month. We had the stretch award. You really stretched this month. We have the person that increase in sales, their commitment, the face the fear and did it anyway award. I mean, there's a million things that you can look for in people, and you want to find those, because as we grow and as we notice them growing, it starts to move the fear away. I just talked about this today on our Aloha Friday that's coming up. For those of you that are members, you get every Friday, you get a new video. And this video was about people that are shy. I mean, and it was funny because I thought about it, because that was me. When I started in this business, I was very shy. And nobody told me I was shy. Usually it's the kids that are told when they're little, she's shy, she's shy. But I never was told that. But I just was not comfortable speaking in front of adults. I was great with kindergartners. I was a teacher. Anyway, so I thought, okay, so what causes people to stay in that bubble of shy? And then their belief is, I can't do all these things because I'm shy. I love doing this call because it reminded me where I started. Because my first direct selling meeting, they made us everybody stand up and say their name. And I can remember my knees shaking. And I was wearing a skirt and it was going like this. I thought, oh, I hope they can't see my knees shaking. But I was so afraid to say my name. And she asked me, Nikki, will you be our greeter next week? You have a beautiful smile. I said, do I have to talk? And she said, no, just smile. So there I stood in the entry. It took me the next week. She said, will you be our greeter again? I said, do I have to talk? She said, no, just say good evening or welcome. Just a couple words. Oh, I can do good evening, welcome. So by the third week, I hugged a few people. I mean, it's called enlarging your comfort zone. And people that come into us be a side gig seller have discomfort around offering the opportunity to other people. And you push them out there too fast, and then they back up and they back out altogether when they could have been a good side gig seller. So when we find that people have enlarged their comfort zone because they're taking little baby risks, just small ones, talking to people they haven't met yet. It's like, I don't know if you remember this, but when you were a kid, don't talk to strangers. Well, so what do we think everybody's strange? It was a weird thing that parents do for kids. Those are just people they haven't met yet. So we've got to clear out that clutter of when they were a kid, don't talk to strangers. Who do I get to meet today that I haven't met yet? It's different thinking. So if we want to move people into sponsoring after we get it, it's a process. It's not okay, now you got to sell, crack the whip, get out there and sponsor people, get her to join the team. That's not going to work for most people. They've got to be ready for that. Some people come into the business because they want to build a big team and they know they can build a big team. Some, that isn't it at all. That's not what the reason they come or what they're here for. So we're getting ready to close it up here, but what makes the holiday season a great time to invite side gig sellers? It is the best time, folks. It is the best time. They maybe are only looking for a 3-month gig. They might be looking for, maybe the first quarter, the end of this year, first quarter. It doesn't matter, but they want something. So keep them close. They have a desire for income now. They have a desire for income now, and they can get it by selling these products. They know that they're going to have bills after Christmas, and they don't want to have those big old credit card statements. So they want to be working on it now and have income to pay those off. They also know that the fall and holiday selling season are the best of the year, best time of the year to be out sharing your products and services now. I had a friend that every year she does a little thing. She starts about September and she says, looking for elves. And people, what does an elf do? Oh, those are people that want to sell, want to share the products that I offer for holiday gift giving. And she makes it really fun. She has little elf hats. When they come to a meeting, she gives them a little elf hat that they get to wear out of there. And it's amazing to me. She has a herd of elves every year. Some stay on, some come back just every year at Christmas time. But she's effective at what she does because she lets them stay and be where they choose to be, where they want to play in the sandbox. She doesn't push them off into another sandbox, which doesn't work very well. So anybody have questions or comments or thoughts before I go on here? If you've got something, you can put it into the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself and talk, because there's a lot of things that I covered and I went through it pretty fast, but I wanted to make sure that we had time for our Q&A at the end. So I don't see any hands raised on the list here too. We have a lot of people with us tonight. So I'm going to zip over and I'm going to tell you about a special that we're doing. We've never done this before, but I'm really excited about it. Our online elite leadership certification program. It's a great program. There's some statistics of what students have said, statistics that companies have given us when they've put their whole company or leaders through this program. You can read more about it, but it's an on demand, so it's on at your own pace. It's a monthly program, and every month there's a group coaching call. So you can participate and learn how to be, you can be coached, and you can also learn how to coach by being in that call. And a Q&A Zoom that we do every month, and you have a whole year to finish the class. This is the place you go to, dswa.org/elite, and dswa.org/elite, and you can, learn more and about that. So I'm going to stop the share, and I'm going to come back, and this is your time. I covered a lot, and I'm so happy. I have so many great people I haven't seen in a long time. Jerry Scribner, your hand is up. What would you like to ask?
How do I get involved on your Friday event?
On every Friday, that's by becoming a member of DSWA. It's $8.95 a month or $89 a year. And every Friday we have an app, and everything will come to you on the app. It'll be sent to you through notifications. And you can find that under membership, independent member. If you have any questions at all, you can go to membership@dswa.org. And our director of membership will write to you and get you all set and up on the app and ready to go. And you'll get all that every Friday, which is really a good thing. Here's some new, Boomy said, I missed you so much. I missed you too, honey. Thank you. And Jerry says, how do I get to go on there? Let's see if there's any other questions. Okay, anybody else with a question or comment or something you'd like to be coached around? Or anything that maybe has held you back? Or that, there's people that have a fear of being pushy. There's so many things that hold people back in this business. I don't want that to happen to you. Let's let it go. Miss Emma, all the way from Australia, thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad you're here. Even though I can't see you, I want to see your babies. That's what I want to see. I know you've got little ones. So there's some other names in here that I recognize that I haven't seen in a long time. I'm just so glad that y'all showed up tonight. So I'm hiding. I'm not so camera ready. Got it, Emma. I have my mornings like that too. I had to do a 2:30 a.m. Zoom the other day. I told the people, I said, these little baguettes, I'm really doing my best to not have them pop out, but I call them baguettes, and they all just laughed. So great session. Thank you. I have the fear of the word no. Monica, that is so good that you said that. Are you okay with unmuting yourself and see if I can support you?
Yes. Hi, Nicki.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. So Monica, what makes that fear so prominent for you, and that somebody might tell you no?
When somebody says no, I hang on to it, and I get so discouraged. I mean, like, I could ask somebody, if they wanted to purchase my product or join my team, and they say no. And 2 hours later, I'm still stuck there. They've forgotten about it already, but I haven't. Like, I just take it personally that, why can't I get them to purchase or to join the team? But it just sticks with me.
How long have you been feeling that?
Oh my gosh. I've been in my business for 23 years.
How often have you heard the word no, or let me ask it differently. How often have you said no to somebody about something?
Plenty, lots of times.
And was it that you hated them, or was it just no, you weren't interested at that time?
No, I just wasn't interested in their product.
And what do you think they do when that happens?
It doesn't seem like it bothers them. Like, okay, maybe another time, or move on to the next person, which is what I know I should be doing. I just don't know why I hold on to it.
So let me ask one other question. Have you ever said, is that no, not now, or no, not ever?
I actually just kind of did something like that in a text today. Someone told me no, and I asked if it would be okay if I checked back with them. at a later date. So I actually just did that, but that was on a text, so it wasn't, you know, in person.
So let me
Mostly
give you a
in person.
thought. Let me give you a thought with this. When somebody says, no, not now. So when would be a good time for me to follow up with you? That's a way to move that. And when someone says, no, not ever, say, I'm so glad that you shared that with me, because neither one of us, you know, we both have very full lives, and we don't want to waste anybody's time. So who do you know that would be interested in the product? Who do you know that would be interested in the opportunity? Find out what the connection point is, because okay, I'm going to ask you one other thing about this whole no thing. Since it's been bothering you, you said most of your life, and you also said you're not quite sure what makes it happen, but let me ask you, what makes it important for you to know? How come it affects you this way?
Because I feel like it's only me, but I can see in the chat that other people are saying that they kind of feel the same way.
There's a lot of people that feel that way.
Yeah.
And they and so when somebody say, I would rather get it out of the way. If they're not I don't want to chase them around, you know, but I know that it can hurt your feelings because you think it is about you.
Mhm.
And you know, there's only 3 kinds of no's. No, not now. No, not ever. Who do you know? There's not, no, I hate you is not one of those things.
Right.
It isn't. So what can you do when someone says no, where you don't feel back on your heels? If someone says, no, I'm not interested. Well, who do you know that might be?
Mhm.
It gives you something to say. So it's not about you. Who do you know that might be? Who do you know that could benefit from these products? Who do you know that would enjoy some additional income? Have something to say so that you don't feel like, oh God, you told me no, now what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
How does that sit with you?
That sits well. That's
Oh,
great.
okay, good. And I'll give you one other hint. The more you ask, the less the no bothers you. Because
That's
see,
true.
when you don't ask, what's happening to you is that you are, it catches you like off guard.
Mhm.
But if you're asking a lot, you don't have that same feeling.
Right. Okay.
Thank you for speaking up and for making a
Thank
difference for
you.
everybody else that was on here, because it seems like a lot of people. I have a hard time knowing how to follow up with people when I ask, how did you like your order? And I get no response. Maybe I'm not asking the right way. Okay, interesting. This is Rebecca. I'm trying to give good customer service, but they ignore me. So here's a different question. Which product was your favorite, and what did you like about it? That requires a response. When we say sometimes, you know, how did you like your product? They're either going to say liked it or didn't. I want them to talk about it. Whatever you can do to get people to talk about things, the better off. And when you follow up, do you let them know at the time of the sell, Rebecca, that you will be reaching out to them within 1 week to make sure everything's going well, because your products are 100% guaranteed, and or if there's anything else that they're needing at that time, and or a way that they could get those products for free or half price. That might intrigue them enough that they're going to take the call.
Okay, thank you. I mean, sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm sorry, my children running through. Sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I have events where like people are dashing in and purchasing and dashing out again, and I'm at least collecting their information, but I'm not always able to do what I want to do in person with them. So.
Well, at least to try to make a time to follow up somehow. And, you know, especially when you're doing big events, write notes on the little contact card, whatever you get from them, write notes on it so that will remind you of a little bit about them. And that's always a good thing. I agree with her. Hearing no isn't a good thing. I like those replies. Well, I'm glad you like them. Anybody else with something different? I want to be here with you as much as I can to share whatever I can.
I had a question.
Yes.
I'm realizing and discovering that I have a negative belief about sales, direct sales, or I feel like other people do, and I'm trying to figure out how to overcome those negative thoughts or beliefs about direct sales in general. Because I feel like it's blocking my success, if that makes sense.
It certainly would. So Raquel, how long have you been in direct selling?
I've been coming up on 4 years.
That's a long time. And how long have you had this negative beliefs?
I didn't realize I really had them until recently, I think. So probably from the beginning, I'm assuming if they've always been there. And I don't know if it's just something
There's a past class that I did. It's called Having Pride in Your Profession. That would probably be a really good one for you to listen to. So what is the negative belief that you're carrying around?
I think it's that it's my business, because it's a direct sales, it's not worth talking about or putting myself out there about, I guess. I don't know.
That's interesting. It's not worth. So when you say that, it's kind of like saying you're not worth. And I certainly think you're worth listening to. So let me ask you, who do you know that has been highly successful in the business?
Who do I know? Well, I know my friend Hannah is. She invited me here.
So you know people that have been very successful. So and successful with life balance, successful with earning income, successful with earning trips and so on. So how true is that you can be highly successful in this business?
I think it's possible. I just don't know if it's possible for me. I guess that's it. I don't.
So what have you done in your past that you felt really proud of?
I think I don't know. I don't like saying, I feel prideful when I say stuff like that. I mean, I met you at Leader Summit, so that was an accomplishment.
That was a fun event. I love being there with all of you. So
yeah.
Anything else outside of this business, outside of direct selling, where in your past have you felt like you were successful?
I was able to speak recently, and I like speaking in front of people and sharing my story of overcoming addiction.
So you've overcome some things in your life, and you have made it for 4 years in this business. I'm going to offer you something because I can tell this is very sensitive to you. I'm going to ask you to ask Hannah how to get a hold of me. And I'm going to do a coaching call with you by yourself, because this is deeper than probably what you want to go on this call today. But I don't want you to be left open like that. I want to give you that as a gift. So will you talk to Hannah and let her know?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I'm really proud of you for speaking up, and you have a beautiful child.
Thanks.
Anybody else that I can be of support to? You know, people think coaching is just for when you have a challenge or a problem. Coaching is actually definitely valuable to you when you have a stretch goal, when you have something you're moving towards, when you have not a blind spot maybe, but it can be for blind spots too, but when you stop going, you're stuck. that's when coaching steps in, all those different reasons. It's not just when you have a challenge. I don't want you to think that. Um, and I will say this, that just training, which was the first half of this call, was all training. I did some coaching in there because I had quite a few questions. But when you just train, average retention and application of what you said is only 22%. When you combine your coaching with your training, average retention and application is 88%. It's a huge difference. And by the way, in that elite course, we do a lot around coaching, and there's a whole module on coaching. So it's a great value for anybody that wants to get started with something. That'd be a great place to begin. And then check back on the events page, because we do level 1 schools, frequently. I think we just finished one though, so there's not one up there now, but there's opportunity there to continue to learn. So anybody else with something I can do for you? I'm just going to say, don't let anybody stop you. Go after what your dreams are. Go after what's important to you. Bhumi, did you have something to share?
I just have a quick question, just a coaching question.
Yes.
So I got this contract as a consultant for a new company, a new direct selling company. They were looking for a coach and a trainer. So it's challenging for me because I'm being given numbers to meet and like that, and I've already passed that in my job, in my worth, in what I love to do. Then on the other side, I love the culture. I love the owners. I just love them. So there's this conflict that I'm having right now.
So tell me specifically what the conflict is within you.
I don't want anybody to tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody to tell me I need to make this number of sales no, I don't want that. I've been there, I've done that.
Yes, you have. And so the independence for you is very important, that you
Oh
can
my
remain
goodness.
independent. So how can you work with this company as an independent person, not as an employee?
I'm not an employee with them.
You're not. Okay.
I'm not an employee with them, but what they did is that they give me something every month, and they now said, whenever you coach and develop people, we just treat you as a leader, give you, a check for the people that you coach and support.
Mm-hmm.
But then it now turned to be like treating me like an employee, and I'm like,
Well, so everybody, this is an important thing for us. In your coaching skills, there's something called compassionate feedback. It's a beautiful skill to learn how to speak out what you're feeling, but with compassion. And in this instance, Bhumi, if you don't tell them how you're feeling, it's probably not going to be different. So remember, when you give compassionate feedback, may I share something? You have to have permission. May I share something that I've been feeling recently? And see what they say, and put it out there. I don't think that they realize that they're going to lose you if they don't adjust. But if you don't ever tell them that this is bothering you so much, they don't have a chance to adjust.
Yeah. I did, but I didn't do that with the owners of the company. So I think I need to go above. Okay.
That's your next step. That's very good. Thank you for asking. I see some other great comments in here. Learn the difference between coaching and training was a huge eye opener. That was Wendy Hora. Thank you so much. And here we go. I think you opened my eyes on something holding me back. Now I need to work on overcoming that. The first sign of having anything be different is to be aware, is to know yourself, how you feel about this, what's coming up for you. I'm noticing this. And just as Boomy was just saying, I'm noticing that I'm frustrated. I don't want to be in that spot. But again, you got to say something. I prejudge my friends. I think they will not be interested in the product. That's very interesting. Karen, would you like to work through that? Because that will kind of not support you selling much.
Well, I'm just so afraid of the response of either I can't afford it or, oh, I've tried that.
Mhm. And what's the worst possible thing that would happen if those were their responses?
They wouldn't be my customer,
And what are they now?
not my customer.
So what have you got to lose?
Well, true.
Hmm. You know, if you never ask, you'll never know. And the thing about this is that, you know, there are some people that will say, I can't afford that. You know, well, you've got options for them. If they can't afford it, maybe they would benefit from some extra income. Maybe the business would be a good answer for them. I don't know. There's so much going on that um at least you can say you gave them a shot. You know, my sister asked every one of her friends when she first started in the business. And as the years went by, they would say things like, you're so lucky. And she would say it had nothing to do with luck. I built this business from the ground up, just like I offered you the exact same opportunity. And I'm thinking, you know, how many people, if you don't ask them, they could come back and say, why didn't you ask me? So if they get started on the price, you know, I just had a friend a couple months ago, I was in Seattle, and this woman goes, Nicki, do you remember when you were teaching us about skincare and Linda had this group of ladies over there and you were talking about your hands and how you always put the cream going up on your hands and how you go up on your neck? And she goes, look at my neck. I mean, her neck was a mess. She chose not to listen. And sometimes people choose that, you know, but I know I did the best I could. I did what I could for her. It was up to her if she did something or didn't do something with it. So here's an interesting comment. I'm the one that says I'm burnt out on my company that I'm wondering if I should resign. You know what? Sometimes we think about resigning. You better look at all the options before you just do that, because we think the grass is greener over there, but it's the same dang grass. It's just a different label on it. So whatever challenges you're having in this company could be the same challenges you have in another company. I'm telling you, you really got to think about that before you just resign, you know, because you're going to have to start over again. And that's a little bit hard. But if there's something I can do to support you, I don't know what company you're with, but you can try and write an email just to info@dswa.org, and I'll try and give you a couple thoughts to get through that with. I'm afraid of damaging my relationships with friends by asking them if they are interested in my products. Holy smokes. Okay. So are they really your friends if that would damage the relationship? I want you to think about that. Most friends say, they'll either say, hey, you know, I'm already using this product. I really don't need anything else. Or they'll say, you know, I already have a representative. I don't know what they're going to say, but if they're really your friends, they're going to tell you the truth. And that's okay if they tell you the truth, whatever that may be. I don't want them to avoid me or think that that is all that is on my mind. It's when you overdo every time you have I got a deal for you? I have a sale this week. I've got these great products. You know, we're hawking all the time. That's what we burn out our relationships. That's not what you would do, I can tell. You have a fear of being pushy, and so you don't ever ask. And that's a whole different challenge. Some have purchased from me. I think it is just me. You think so? That could be it, that it's how you're thinking. If I don't ask them, you know, I'm going to tell you a quick story. I'm at an event in Chicago in someone's home, and this lady says to me, she's trying to raise her hand. She wants to talk. I said, did you want to share something? She said, yes. I hosted 5 different events for another woman. I bought products. She never once asked me to join her team. Never. So I joined this lady's team, and now I'm her director. You know what? I don't care who the person is. They could be your best customer in the world. Give them the opportunity if they want to join the business. The whole idea of tonight was just don't go full on in the business and miss out on people that just want to sell the product. It's different. I feel that people don't take direct selling seriously as a legitimate business. I think that may have been in the past, but it is not today. Our numbers are just going up. The whole gig economy. Read the book, The Gig Economy. You can find it on Amazon. I did not write it. My friend John Fleming, Fleming, wrote that book, and it's going to give you a lot of statistics of where we're going. I don't know what to say to overcome that statement. Here's what I'm going to tell you about having to overcome statements. Generally, it's when you're making statements, you get objections. If you don't make a lot of statements and you ask more questions, you won't get hardly any objections. It's really weird because people don't object to their own answers. Think about that for a minute. It's pretty amazing how it all works, but I don't give very many objections at all because I don't make a lot of statements. If I'm working with someone to sell them something, the whole idea is that I ask a lot of questions and listen to what they say and let them know I heard them by giving listing responses. Jerry says, I just joined the DSWA. Yay, Jerry. I will be a coach eventually with DSWA. I would love that. This training changed my business many years ago. Jerry came to I don't even remember where it was. Was it in Phoenix? Yep. Jerry came to a training in
Phoenix.
Yep. And I can't remember. Were you the only man in that class? I can't remember.
About 45 women and 1 man.
And he was it. He just did so great in that class. And I'm going to tell you, Jerry, you got to get to level 2 now because you've already been once. It's half price when you go to level 1 again. And it probably would do you good to get into that one more time because it'll be a good refresher before you go on to level 2. Because we are on our 55th revision of the book. 55. So that's a lot of new material from when you went through it. So thank you, Jerry. I'm just glad to have you here. How much is too much when you follow up but no response? I don't want to keep bothering them. I see they like the product, but they just never respond. I know I am a people pleaser, but I don't want to be annoying. You know, how much is too much? It's a much better deal instead of just leaving, did you like the product, is, a question to get them to respond. Just like on your Facebook, people interact with questions. It makes their brain work. They stay connected. So ask a question, but as often as you want, that as long as it isn't annoying. I'll call you back in a week and see how things are going. It is, I have said this to people, and you can do whatever you want, but I have said, I've left this voicemail. This is Nicki Kehoe again, and I'm so excited to connect with you. And it sounds like you're really busy and have a lot of things going on, or that this isn't important to you at this time. This is the last time I'm going to call you. I really appreciate your cell. When you need something, give me a call. Or if you want to talk, I'm happy to do so. I'm available on Thursday between 10 and 2, and on Friday between 1 and 7. Looking forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye. And it's all upbeat. It's not like, I hate you, you're a poop. It's not like that. You got to stay. You don't, what is that saying? Throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't want to do that. So I don't know that there is too much follow-up unless you're being annoying or you're getting angry. Make it fun. Make it fun. Who else has a question or comment? Thank you for putting, Hannah, the name of the book in the chat there. Ultimate Gig. It is a textbook, but it is a very good book. I learned a lot, and John's a very dear friend. Anyone else? My mother used to say this: speak now or forever hold your peace. It's not forever, but just for today. This is free to you. Come on, bring it on. Is there something that's bothering you that you want to get past? Or that you just don't get? Or you haven't had good results on? Well, I'm happy that you were all here tonight. I just want to say, I love this business. I love the direct selling profession. I am proud to be a part of it. I'm proud to get to work with the people I get to work with. I've been around it for a long time. You know, some people that just don't get it, they'll say, well, Nicki, when are you gonna retire? I said, when I don't have value anymore. When my brain stops working, I love what I get to do, and I always have. So how do we get access to this call? If you registered through Zoom, it came to you it'll come to you automatically, probably tomorrow. If you didn't register through Zoom and you took somebody else's Zoom or whatever, then write to membership@dswa.org and Renee will get that back to you. And we got people thanking you, Hannah, for inviting them. So happy Jerry referred this to us. I am too, Jerry. I'm happy that you were referred. And I love your company too, those of you that are in Jerry's company. I did some great work through the years for them and it was great fun. Anyway, good night. Have a beautiful day. It's still sunlight here in Hawaii. And I have about 100 bananas on my banana tree right outside my window. They're not quite ripe, so I can't go pick them. But the sun is coming over the mountains and I'm going to go outside and just enjoy a little bit of sunshine. You all take care. Aloha. Have a beautiful day. Emma's so happy to see you here again. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nicki. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.